Welcome back to Buzz TV. I'm Steve Young. This morning we had Tiea Vincent from Roundtable Realty Property Management. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we were talking a little bit offset. We are in a very unique environment. When last you and I spoke, we were in the middle of the pandemic trying to figure out how reality was going to exist. Now we're coming out of it, and a lot of the forbearance programs and eviction stays, things that you deal with, are changing. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on in your business environment right now?
Absolutely. As far as the way the market's going, we aren't seeing a big change in the rentals. We're seeing people show up for showings. We're seeing homes go off the market in 2 weeks or less, which is pretty normal for this time of year. But of course, because of the eviction stay that the governor signed, we cannot evict right now based off of non-payment. So we are seeing a slightly larger delinquency rate on our tenants. We are hovering around less than 1%, which is fairly good compared to the national average. But we do have a lot of tenants out there in Jacksonville that are not paying their rent.
And so when they're not paying their rent and they can't evict, that becomes problematic for a business model. What happens in that scenario to the property managers? I mean, part of the revenue stream is consistent of collecting rent.
Yeah. Honestly, this is unprecedented. We've never gone through something like this. Again, luckily for our company, we're holding less than 1% delinquency. So we're holding pretty strong as far as revenue and being able to keep our employees busy and keep them paid. But there are companies out there that are struggling. But the eviction stay is almost over. It was supposed to be over, I think, 2 days ago. But last week, the governor did extend it through June 2nd. So come June 3rd, we will be at a point where we can start those eviction processes. So when I'm speaking with our tenants that are considering maybe not paying, maybe they should pay, I tell them, listen, if you have the money, pay. Because if you don't, you're going to spend it. And when June 3rd comes, you're not going to have it to pay. And the owners will evict you. Whether it's nicety or not, they will. They have a mortgage to pay. They have bills to pay. And if you're not going to pay, they need to find someone who will.
And so you're working with both sides to help avoid that, because clearly you don't want to throw people out of their home. But at the same time, they did sign a lease and the expectation is that they're going to pay that lease.
Absolutely. So with our tenants, we're waiving all of our late fees. We're not charging them late fees. If in the situation where they have a little bit but not a lot, we can sign an agreement to pay where we agree to take a partial payment now and then spread the rest of it out over a couple of weeks if we need to do that. So we're not just holding them straight to, it's due on the 1st, 100%, or we're going to get rid of you. And then with the owners, we're talking it through with them, giving them their options, letting them know, typically an eviction, we would give a 3-day notice for pay come June 3rd. Right now, the governor's requiring a 30-day. So if the tenant's telling you that they're promising to pay on June 10th, it might be worth you just waiting to June 10th, because otherwise you're not going to get them out. If you can file 30 days later, you're talking the 1st of July, the court systems are going to be backed up. So you're probably looking at a 5 or 6 week court date. So you're all the way into September before you're actually getting your keys in your hand. So if you can wait another 9 days, let's wait another 9 days.
So the message there is that you're working with both the owners and the people that are renting to try to create something that's going to be workable for everybody, so they don't get thrown out and they don't have to go find a new tenant. One of the things you had mentioned is, if there are people out there that are the do-it-yourselfers that own as a landlord, you have developed a program where they don't necessarily need to be your customer per se, but you can give them some advice. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've developed to help those folks that are trying to figure out what happens next?
Absolutely. So we have an eviction processing program that we use here. So if a homeowner they're managing it themselves, DIY, put in a tenant off of Craigslist or Zillow or something they've posted, and the tenant's not paying, most of these owners don't know how to handle the process of evicting if they need to. So they can bring it to us. We don't have to manage it. We do offer a discount if they turn the home over into management, but it's fairly inexpensive, and we can handle everything from serving the notices all the way to going to court for them, where they don't have to fly in or appear in court in person.
If people want to find out more about you, your firm, some of these programs, whether they're programs for the existing clients that you have, new clients, or the DIY guys that are trying to figure out what happens next, what's the best way to connect with you?
So we have a website. It's www.rtrpm.com. That stands for Roundtable Realty Property Management. You can go there and request information, or you can give us a call at 904-469-7272.
Excellent. I really appreciate you joining us today and kind of giving us some advice, because this is a very real thing. Whether you own the house or renting the house, those forbearances and eviction stays, as the economy comes back together, people are trying to figure out what happens next. So thanks for giving us some insight on what you're doing to make a difference.
Absolutely.
It was good to see you next time in person. So
yes, I'm so tired of Zoom calls.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for joining us today. Guys, thanks for joining us on Buzz TV. If you like us, share us. And remember, live with gratitude.